let's get to our naturally inspired moment. Oh, what a great topic, timely topic. What I want to talk about today is your nervous system. I am constantly working on my nervous system because I have realized that this is your superpower as a human being. Okay. And you may think, well, I think my nervous system is running pretty good or whatever. There's a few things that you can do to kind of gauge how your nervous system is, right? One thing you can do is like, how deep are you breathing? Right? Can you take a really deep breath? Because, working with some of the people in my community over the years, I've been taught that like most of us are breathing really shallow. And this is a result of being stuck in fight or flight chronically, and that tends to break down your nervous system. Another good indicator that you might need to be, first of all, let me just say this. Everybody needs to be working on their nervous system all the time. All the time. It's an ongoing journey because the more you master your nervous system, the more you have the ability to respond the way you want to respond when you want to respond that way. Like, I don't want to use the word control because we ain't got control over anything, right? But when you have control of your nervous system or when you have authority over your nervous system, you have so much more ability to respond to things because you don't get all of the reaction that comes along when something makes you mad or something makes you sad or something makes you, even if you're happy or joyful or whatever, you have to be able to, be present in your physical body in a way where you can respond in strength, not from a place of like, oh, I don't want to, fear. So I'm always working on mastering my nervous system. And here are 5 benefits of mastering your nervous system, why you might want to consider it yourself. Number 1, you respond instead of react. When your nervous system is regulated, you pause before acting. This gives you choice instead of compulsion, especially in conflict, in stressful situations, or fear-based moments. Number 2, your body heals more efficiently. So a calm nervous system shifts you out of fight or flight and into rest and repair, where digestion, hormone balance, immune function, and tissue repair actually happen. Number 3, your thinking becomes clearer and more creative. Chronic stress narrows your perception. Regulation expands it, improving your focus, improving your intuition, improving your problem solving, and your decision making. Number 4, your emotions stabilize without suppression. Mastery doesn't mean numbing your emotions. It means feeling without being hijacked by like a giant adrenaline spike, right? This builds emotional resilience and reduces anxiety, panic, and fatigue and burnout. Number 5, you reclaim personal authority when you can regulate your internal state. External chaos loses its power. This is true self-leadership, the foundation of confidence, consistency, and true freedom in your physical body. Now, a lot of people might think, well, I don't think I have a problem with my nervous system. And I would present this challenge. You may not have a problem with it, but are you working on expanding it? Are you working on strengthening that? Because see what happens and I was talking to somebody about this today in an assessment, when we're 0 to 7 years old, right? Our neural pathways are being formed. And this is the time in which we kind of form how we cope and respond to things. And, innately, we want to be liked. We want to belong. That's just the human condition. And so we learn very quickly to pick up on social cues. We learn how to get people to like us. We learn what we need to do to fit in. And this builds neural pathways in our brains. And when they're built that early, it's very hard to understand that that's a neural pathway, a habit, a way of thinking, a way of behaving in order to fit in. we can't recognize them because they've been there so long. It's the only way we know. And so you may be able to recognize it in other people, but it's very hard to identify it yourself. So, you've all been around the joker, right? The person that, always has to make jokes and laugh and they're fun to be around, and it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad or good or anything. I'm saying it's a coping mechanism. They are driven to make other people laugh, and because that was their way of, people pleasing, being liked, and it feels good to them. Right? And like I said, that's a great thing. We're all lucky to have the jokers of the world and the funny people of the world. They make life a lot more pleasant, right? But it is a coping mechanism. And so there are other coping mechanisms that we use too. Like, are we the helper? Did we get approval from 0 to 7 by being the helper in the family? Because if we build those neural pathways that we're the helper in the family, when we become an adult, we want to fit in, we become the helper of everybody. Or maybe we were the strong one in the family, the one that shouldered all the burden while maybe mom fell apart or, dad was emotional or whatever. There was somebody in the family that played the role to smooth everything over. They were the strong one. And now when they identify in the world, 50 years later, they're shouldering everybody's problems because they're the strong one. These are the roles that we take on to cope as children, and they serve us as children. Sometimes they even keep us alive. So they're very important, but they may not be serving us now in our adulthood. They might be bringing us results that we're no longer happy with. And that's okay. Once you identify the role, then you can reprogram your nervous system to being comfortable not being the helpful one. Let somebody else be the helpful one this time. And we don't have to take that on our nervous system, like feeling guilty or feeling anxious or, feeling, like we're not doing what we should be doing, guilt, all these emotions come up, and that's what shakes our nervous system and triggers our fight or flight. So if we can step into a different role, that expands our nervous system. And all of a sudden we're more comfortable in our own skin, and we don't mind taking a pause before we commit to something. We don't mind taking a pause before we, go straight to that old familiar pattern where we're comfortable to cope with a situation. And that's another way that you can retrain your nervous system, is you can put yourself in situations and just don't do the thing. Right? Don't commit to helping. Don't be the strong one in that situation. Don't be the joker in that situation. Let the uncomfortableness ride. Guess what? You won't die. You won't die. You may feel uncomfortable. You may have a strong urge to do this or that in order to, get comfortable again. But the more you press yourself to be a little bit more uncomfortable, the more authority you get over your nervous system. And let me tell you, the key here is to have all the authority over your nervous system, because then you can really, truly step into who you are meant to be in your full expression with all creativity. It's pretty awesome. So take that challenge, work on your nervous system today. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned for the second hour. We'll be right back.